France is largely located in Western Europe and has an area of 632,000 square kilometers, 543,000 of which are in Europe. This makes it the largest country in the European Union. The population is around 68 million and the only official language is French. The capital of the centralized presidential republic is Paris. Among other things, France is a member of NATO and a founding member of the European Union and is the second largest economy in the EU after Germany. The separation of church and state has been in force in France since 1905. Secularism is one of the basic principles of the Republic today. Catholicism is traditionally the most important religion. France's northern neighbor is the United Kingdom. The islands of Jersey and Guernsey are crown property of the British Crown. France also borders Belgium and Luxembourg to the north. Germany and Switzerland follow to the east, and Italy to the southeast. The city-state of Monaco is located on the Mediterranean coast. In the southwest, France borders Spain and Andorra. France also shares its longest land border with Brazil and a border with Suriname via the Overseas Department of French Guiana in South America. At 83,000 square kilometers, it is France's largest overseas territory in terms of area and roughly the size of West Virginia, for example. Other French overseas territories are Saint-Martin, Guadeloupe, and Martinique in the Caribbean. Land border with the Netherlands, Saint-Pierre and Miquelon off the coast of Canada, La Réunion and Mayotte in the Indian Ocean, New Caledonia, Wallis and Futuna, and French Polynesia in the Pacific Ocean. There will be more about the overseas territories in a future video. The European part of France is also known as France métropolitaine, and on the European mainland it has roughly the shape of a hexagon, which is why it is also referred to as a hexagon in French. The striking tip in the northwest is Brittany, with the Pointe du Raz. To the east of this is the Cotentin Peninsula in Normandy with Cape La Hague. In the west, France is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean. This is connected to the North Sea by the English Channel. In the south, France borders the Mediterranean, where the world-famous Côte d'Azur is located. Corsica, the fourth largest island in the Mediterranean and nicknamed the Island of Beauty, also belongs to France. The most important mountain ranges are the Alps in the southeast, where the highest mountain in France and Europe, at 4,810 meters, is located on the border with Italy, Mont Blanc. The Pyrenees at the transition to the Iberian Peninsula, and the Massif Central in the south. Smaller mountain ranges are the Jura and the Vosges, with the upper Rhine plain to the east. The north is relatively flat and is dominated by the extensive Paris Basin. The Aquitaine Basin extends to the southwest. This is where the Landes pine forests are located, which are considered to be the largest artificially created forest area in Western Europe. The most important rivers include the Rhine, which forms the border with Germany in Alsace, the Seine, which flows through Paris and into the English Channel, the Loire, at 1,006 kilometers, the longest river in France, and flows into the Atlantic, the Rhône, coming from Switzerland, flows into the Mediterranean in a wide river delta known as the Camargue, and the Garonne, which has its source in Spain and flows into the Gironde, not far from Bordeaux, through the confluence with the Dordogne, and finally flows into the Atlantic. France's largest lakes are Lake Geneva, Lac Léman in French, which it shares with Switzerland, and the Étang de Berre, north of Marseille. Due to its special geographical location, France has an especially varied climate. Large parts of the European part of France lie in the temperate climate zone, albeit with different gradations. The west is strongly oceanic, with lots of rain, mild winters, and cool summers in the north, especially in Brittany and Normandy, but warm summers in the southwest. In eastern France, continental influences are clearly noticeable, especially in Alsace. Summers are warm to hot and winters are cold. The Mediterranean climate prevails along the Mediterranean coast and in Corsica, with dry and hot summers and relatively mild winters. However, the Mistral can cause strong and often cold winds. Nice, in particular, has surprisingly mild temperatures in winter due to its sheltered location. In the mountains, there are various climatic influences depending on the altitude, including a high mountain climate in the Alps and Pyrenees. And that brings us to the end of the first episode of the series on France. Thanks for watching, and till next time.